Why Meghan Markle stays living rent-free in some white women's heads. Despite her grace, intelligence, and success, Meghan Markle has become a lightning rod for criticism rooted in the discomfort of white women grappling with their own privilege. BET article by Yesha Callahan, January 6, 2025. Snippets read by AI. Edits by Sussex Team Warrior on May 24, 2025. Meghan Markle's life has been quite remarkable. From running her lifestyle blog, The Tig, to becoming America's sweetheart, to marrying into the British royal family and now producing a new Netflix series, she just keeps reinventing herself. But as she takes each new step, the backlash against her only intensifies. Her series on Netflix, seemingly a rebirth of The Tig, should have been applauded. Instead, it has been greeted with a torrent of online hate, much of it infused with bigotry and misogynoir. None of the nasty comments are new for Meghan. They echo the same criticisms she's faced for years. But they're also indicative of something deeper, a discomfort with who Meghan is and what she signifies. Before Meghan became the Duchess of Sussex, she was a woman forging her own way. Her now-defunct blog, The Tig, was a colorful grab bag of travel tips, wellness advice, and personal musings. It was more than a website. It was a space where Meghan expressed her worldview and celebrated diversity. Meghan's blog The Tig, it was real, accessible, and gave her an audience of loyal people who loved her for being herself. Even then, Meghan was unafraid to take up space. She didn't shy away from her identity as a biracial woman and used her platform to explore issues of inclusivity and representation. That confidence and openness drew people in, but also made her a target for those uncomfortable with seeing someone like her succeed. Bigotry and privilege. Meghan's critics often ignore the role bigotry plays in the backlash against her. As a biracial woman, she represents a break from the long tradition of whiteness in the monarchy. Her presence signified change in an institution that prides itself on tradition, making her a lightning rod for criticism. The scrutiny Meghan faced wasn't just intense, it was unequal. Behaviors celebrated in her sister-in-law Kate Middleton, like touching her baby bump or advocating for causes, were cast as selfish or inappropriate when Meghan did them. These double standards highlight how much we cling to biases about race and gender, even in spaces that claim to value diversity. The critiques also point to privilege. Meghan's success threatens those who cling to the unwritten rules about who is allowed to thrive in certain spaces. Her self-assurance, autonomy, and refusal to conform challenge the conventions many are uncomfortable letting go of. Why the hatred lingers. So, why does Meghan continue to live rent-free in so many people's heads? A large part of it is that she doesn't play by the rules. When the royal family and British tabloids painted her as the problem, she didn't stay silent. She told her side of the story. When constant harassment became unbearable, she didn't accept it. She left the royal institution for the sake of her mental health and her family. Meghan's decisions force people to examine their own biases. For some, it's easier to label her as difficult than to recognize the systemic racism and sexism that shape how society treats women like her. From hate to inspiration. Through all the noise, Meghan continues to thrive. Her Netflix series is the latest chapter in a life defined by resilience and reinvention. She has built a platform that allows her to speak out, elevate others, and create meaningful change. The hatred directed at Meghan is a reflection of her detractors, not her. It speaks to a fear of change and a discomfort with seeing a woman of color succeed on her own terms. But Meghan's story is also a turning point for women who want to chart their own paths, for people who seek to challenge norms, and for anyone who believes in the power of authenticity. Meghan Markle doesn't just live rent-free in her critics' heads, she thrives there. And that's what makes her unstoppable. Some observations and thoughts by Sussex Team Warrior. Before we get to that, a shout out to all the squaddies and warriors fighting for and defending the Sussex family. I also appreciate all of your support here on STW. We have a lot of envious haters and deranged trolls totally jealous of the Duchess of Sussex. They're intent on flooding the comments with negativity, so be sure you like, subscribe, and yes, leave positive comments to counter their unhinged hate. Stay Sussex strong. Meghan Markle was a fully formed woman before she married into the British royal family. Meghan was also the only self-made millionaire to join that family. In other words, she did not need them to elevate her financially. However, Meghan would be the first to admit that marrying into such a famous family gave her much more global exposure than she would have on her own. This exposure would give her more access to fulfill her philanthropic work, especially championing causes in support of women and girls. These areas of philanthropy and their importance was instilled in her at a very early age by her mother, Doria. Doria Ragland has always been supportive of Meghan, instilling in her daughter a strong sense of self, understanding her biracial heritage and the importance of celebrating that heritage. Doria is a very people-centered person. This is expressed in the way she shows up for her daughter and son-in-law. Doria's silent support has been instrumental in helping Meghan navigate through the biased and unfair British tabloid lies and the negative trolling by social media derangers.